Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gerardo Hassel. Myself, along with my colleagues from Topper Consulting, will be presenting our research findings for Don Pepe's Mexican Restaurant and Cantina. My colleague, Andrea Heffington, will be covering primary research collection. Russell Willingham will be covering secondary research. Paolo Guevara will be covering findings and conclusions. And lastly, Emily Scranton will be covering recommendations for Don Pepe's Mexican Restaurant and Cantina. Myself, I will be covering problem statement. So the problem statement, or our mission here at Topper Consulting, was to assist Don Pepe's in their expansion from South Texas, in a little city known as McAllen, Texas, to Austin, Texas. And the reason for this was that they're looking to expand their restaurant out of the valley because they've seen that our profits here in Austin are really high, and they want to be able to bring the authenticity of Mexican food to a city like Austin, where they feel like this will be able to help them maximize their profits. And now I'll be passing on to my colleague, Andrea.
All right, thank you, Lola. Like you said, my name is Andrea, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about our primary research, data analysis, and our data collection. So first off, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how we chose the target audience that we selected. We selected this audience after talking to our main contact at Don Pepe's and decided that the St. Edward's faculty, students, and staff were the most optimal group of people for new clientele in the Austin area, especially for expanding their brand to the Austin area. And then it was also chosen because of the accessibility we had in distributing surveys to the students, faculty, and staff, since we are each obviously attending students at St. Edward's currently right now. So we distributed a total of 500 surveys in all. That's 100 surveys per team member to the select audience. And the select audience contains 3,590 students and 375 faculty and staff. And out of the 500 that were distributed, we received a total of 266 valid surveys in return. Moving on to our data analysis, we analyzed the surveys, the valid surveys compared to invalid surveys based on a total of 7 out of the 10 questions answered. Then each of the group members were responsible for totaling 2 of the 10 questions and getting our results. We tallied these results in a shared document, which we then analyzed on the responses, the results, everything, the feedback that they gave us. And then in our analyzation, we came across 2 main points that seemed most liable as feedback to offer Don Pepe's in our research. That first one was the main competition in the Austin area, especially in reference to the specific clientele that we're targeting, which is the St. Edward's population. The second main point was the information on consumer preferences, specifically related to service qualities, service prices, ambiance, characteristics that typically make up a restaurant. Next, I'll be handing it off to my colleague, Russell.
Yeah, as she said, I'm Russell, and I'll be covering the secondary research collection. And secondary research was primary collected through Yelp searches, Google searches, and TripAdvisor to look through reviews and determine what type of restaurants were in the area, what type of foot traffic, what the competition was in the area, and how people felt for like types of food that was in there, and the quality of food and things of that nature. And most of our secondary research was originally obtained before the surveys were created, and then after we distributed the surveys, went back, did a little more, and narrowed it down more to the South Congress area, since that was our highest rated area for everybody wanting the restaurant to be in, and all the data seemed to align with it, so there wasn't much else added on to that. And from there, I'll pass it on to Paula.
Hi everyone, my name is Paula, and I'm going to be summarizing the findings and conclusions based on our primary research and our secondary research. So the results that we gathered from the surveys concluded that the majority of people would prefer a casual dining restaurant versus a fancy dining restaurant, as well as $16 to $25 on a typical meal is what people prefer to spend, and followed closely by 10 to 15. So you see that not a lot of people prefer restaurant that can relate. So people that took the survey would only be willing to travel up to a maximum of 10 miles to get to their destination of the restaurant. So we took that into consideration based on the location because we are deciding where is best in Austin. Also, the dining experience, consumers would prefer live music and entertainment to accompany their dining experience. And this is really important to us because the original location in Don Pepe's, they actually do incorporate this. So we were trying to decide if this was something that the clientele from Austin would enjoy. Now, consumer preferences, one of the main characteristics that a typical consumer would prefer is service and quality in a restaurant, followed closely by prices. So we now realize that that's what people like and how we're going to focus into that. And as far as our secondary research, since we are focusing on the South Congress area, we realized that this is more of a casual family, family and friends, but yet high quality restaurants. So we definitely wanted to focus on that. And as far as preferences, consumers definitely like low wait time since it is a shopping area and they don't want to be, waiting around when they could be doing other things. And also it has to be easily accessible by foot. Since you do park in one place and pretty much just walk the rest of the street, you can't be dealing with, where do you park and stuff. So it has to be easily accessible to people who can just easily walk in. As far as our competition, our main competition on South Congress itself would be Guero's Taco Bar. It's actually a dine-in restaurant, and this is a picture of it. And we also have more competition outside of South Congress that's more relatable as well, and such as Gloria's, La Condesa, Maza Rancho, and Papacitos. This is Gloria's and that's La Condesa, and they're located downtown, so it's fairly close to South Congress. These are the most viable options that we're going to take a look at as far as competition. And now I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Emily.
So as was said, my name is Emily, and I'll be covering the recommendations. So the biggest recommendation that we decided on, since Don Pepe's wants to move to Austin, we concluded that South Congress is obviously the most popular area, at least according to in the St. Edwards community. And finding a location in like the area that you typically imagine South Congress can get kind of difficult, and open lots are kind of hard to come by, but we still found an open lot. There was a recent closure of a convenience store kind of across from campus here. It's located at 3612 South Congress Avenue. So it's a little bit further south, but it still has a South Congress name, so it's definitely like a viable option for them. And also, just a side note, the land is worth about $400,000 and it's on about 4.48 acres. Once they moved to Austin, we concluded that they should like focus on having drink specials, mostly just to like help with the competition, kind of like set them over the edge. We listed a few suggestions such as Taco and Tequila Tuesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, and Mexican Saturdays, which are detailed up on the board. And this kind of ties in to our third suggestion or recommendation, is to keep having live entertainment. We found that since people preferred it, it would definitely be an asset to Don Pepe's when they moved to Austin. And to go along with that, we suggested that the days that they have it be Thursdays and Saturdays, and that aligns with the drink special nights. Those are also like the typical nights that, when compared to the competition, because Guero's has live music also, and so does Gloria's, those are the nights that at least one wasn't having live music. So in conclusion, just to recap, we covered the purpose of why we did this whole consulting, the primary and secondary research, and then the findings and conclusions. And then again, our main recommendation is for Don Pepe's to move to a South Congress location. So thank you for listening, and does anyone have any questions?
So I love the research and the drink specials, but what about the food? What did you guys find out about that, just in general? I primarily asked that because Guero's is your main competition, but from a food standpoint as well, or just where their location is?
It's a little bit more of the location, but also the food is also into the big theme. One of the biggest things that we noticed that Grows likes to do is they like to have a taco special, which is on Tuesdays, where they give you a botana of different types of tacos, whether it be quesadillas, bistec tacos, fajita tacos, barbacoa tacos, and that comes in a big platter, and the platter is about $12. So we also recommended that that along with that tacos and tequila, we were able to offset them by not only offering the tacos, but we'd also be having the incentives of them having half prices off of the tequila. So rather than going to Gueros, you can come to Don Pepe's, where you also be able to get the both.
Yeah.
So you get the best of two worlds.
Okay, good.
By being able to get the tacos and the tequila as well.
Good.
Are there any drawbacks to relocating to Austin?
Well, it's actually, we're not relocating, we're just opening up a whole new facility. We'd be keeping the same facility, which is located in McAllen, Texas. And then the incentive was just to open up a new location, which would be here in Austin. And we decided to pick the South Congress location just because it's a little bit more ideal in terms of where the other restaurants where we seem to have the most competition with would be designated to the same area. Any further questions?
Nice, thank you.
Thank you.